what do you go through whenever someone presents you with a challenge that you've never done before, you're not very familiar with, but you feel like you can? How do you go from I feel like we can to knowing that we can?
Well, I rely on a lot of other partners. So my goal is to document from the client's perspective, not what I think they need, but what they need. And so very much to get that clearly delineated, what that client's requirements are, what they're thinking, candidly, what they're willing to pay. Because I'll sit in meetings with clients and they want to accomplish something a lot and they budgeted $5,000 for it. And I'm thinking, I that's probably not going to work. I have a basic understanding of some of these things. This is what needs to be addressed. And then whether with internally to have my teams engaged in defining the more specific aspects of that requirement, and then coming back to the client, whether I'm using my own in-house resources or I'm using third-party resources. So we've developed an extensive worldwide support organization we call our virtual bench. And that virtual bench is not everything in the technology space, but significant amounts of the really important aspects of technology delivery in the world today. And we have partners and individuals and consultants that we built over the years, the last 15 years. And so that we run a software package that looks for specific requirements. So if a customer comes to us and says, I have this specific ERP system, or I have this specific deliverable that I'm looking for, if we don't have the resources in-house, we act as in essence, similar to many of your clients, general contractor in bringing on those specific resources that can address. And we vetted them and we figured out how they're going to get paid. And we have that all pre-handled. So we can pretty quickly engage them in the conversation with the end user. And it's not that we back away. We stay engaged kind of in the sense of the general contractor. In our industry, it's called an integrator, but basically a general contractor. And we bring in the various resources. I've got one yesterday as an example. It's an ERP system. Client is working with a certain ERP system. They're having a lot of challenges with it. They feel like their needs right now is we don't feel we've got good project management going on, and we need help migrating data from one database to another. Okay, got it. Understand what the requirements are. Now we're going to bring the appropriate people into place to help them get to where they want to go. Remember, our marketplace, 70 to 80% of people's efforts fail. And so that call yesterday was a classic example of something failing.
Wow.
That's a DIY. They're trying to do it themselves. You mentioned that
partly,
earlier.
yeah,
but
partly it's DIY. They're trying to do it themselves. They had a third party that they were trying to engage, but they were DIYing that third party. And it was just a circumstance that now they're stuck. And how can we help?